Hi, I'm Lacey, and I am going to go ahead and ask if you remember this movie from 2014.
What's your name? Hazel. And what's your full name? Hazel Lancaster. Why are you looking at me like that? um, I'm really this week. I mean now. You could be an axe murderer. There's always that possibility. I am quite unextraordinary. I reject that. I think we're just friends. You try to keep your distance from me and know where that's affection for you.
All right, so this right here, this movie was based off of a novel written by John Green, and he has become a very well known author at this time. He has written several videos
What's your
that
name?
attract a young adult audience. So, John Green is who we are focusing on today. One of his newest books was going to be Turtles All the Way Down. And when you have Turtles All the Way Down, it did happen to win the Amazing Audiobooks for young adults. It also was a Goodreads Choice Award, and it was the SLJ Best Book of the Year. Now, what happens in this is that we have Aza. She is a girl with severe anxiety, and she is coaxed into investigating one of her old friends' missing dad in an attempt to get the reward money. Her friend Daisy is the one who tries to entice her to do the investigation. But in the end, all it ends up doing is allowing her to reconnect with her friend Davis, who is very rich compared to them. But she tries to maintain the friendship, but in the end, she starts to have feelings for him. And she struggles with relationships in general because of her anxiety. She actually starts to um, become paranoid with the bacteria inside of her, making her sick. She starts to, she has this bad habit of pinching her little finger and making it bleed, open up and bleed. And she has to put hand sanitizer in it and change her band aids all the time. She actually starts to ingest sanitizer to try to kill the bacteria inside of her. And so it does have an element of mental illness in it and also struggling relationships for a teenager in this day and age. The next book that John Green wrote, this was before, of course, Turtles All the Way Down. It was called An Abundance of Catherines. It won a Michael L. Prince Award. And basically, in this book, you have an anagramming prodigy named Colin, and he feels that he doesn't matter. He felt like he reached his peak in his childhood, and he's not going anywhere from there. And he always wants to prove his worth. He has a thing for dating Catherines, and so after his breakup with the 19th Catherine, he decides that he needs to get away. So he convinces his best friend Hassan to go on a road trip with him in an attempt to solve an equation about relationships. They end up in Gutshot, Tennessee, and lo and behold, they get a job there, and they befriend a girl named Lindsay, and Colin ends up having a relationship with Lindsay, and he realizes that he does matter and that he is quite self involved, but he slowly tries to break away from that. And he breaks his Catherine streak whenever he ends up in a relationship with Lindsay. And then his very first book was Looking for Alaska. It was a winner of the Michael L. Prince Award. It's basically about a young man named Miles who has an intense like for famous last words of people. And he moves from Florida to a boarding school in Alabama to find his great perhaps. He becomes Pudge when he befriends a group of ragtag people named the Colonel, Takumi. He starts to date his first girlfriend, Lara, and he befriends the famous Alaska, the one the book is named after. Alaska is a free spirit and he is attracted to her and he feels like he's falling for her. So in the first half of the book, it establishes their friendships. But in the second half of the book, it's a lot darker because they have to deal with Alaska's death. She's involved in a car accident. She was drinking and driving, and it ended up killing her. And so, in the second part of the book, we see that they are suffering from grief and they are also in denial about what happened. They question what's going on. So they investigate whether her death was an accident or a suicide because she did have almost like manic bipolar episodes. She would be really up one minute and carefree and fun, and the next minute she would be a hysterical mess. So he ends up basically trying to come to terms with losing a friend and figuring out himself. John Green is a wonderful author, so if you haven't checked him out, please go ahead and head to your library and grab those books now.